This week we're going to start a new project which is glass and reflective things with watercolours. So I thought I'd use these glass bottles, but if you've got other ideas how you can interpret it, that'd be fine. So I thought perhaps I'll do this as a demo for this week and next week, and then if we wanted to carry on with this theme, perhaps do something maybe from pictures like windows or some other kind of reflective things, or any way you want to take it. Okay. So last week, I think I talked a little bit about using masking fluid last week. I'll get that open. And suggesting that you use like a cheap brush. The other method would be to use, if you've got anything like a bamboo pen, they can work quite well. This one, I think it needs really sharpening really, but I used this on Tuesday and it worked fairly well. So these are quite good for, so I've done a couple of very quick sketches here. So they're the ones I've done. So with the, basically anywhere where I want to keep the pure white, I'll just draw some of this on. So I'm just thinking this rim here, there's quite a lot of white there. And these are good for sort of sharp marks, thin marks. That works quite well with thin marks. But it's probably better. And the good thing about using a pen is you're not going to ruin the brush. It will just rub off. So that works quite well. Otherwise, I'm thinking on this one, I might be better off just using the brush, popping that on quicker. And again, I've just slightly dampened it first so that it doesn't dry up too quickly. I'm just trying to get a tiny bit on the tip of the brush, not actually completely flood the brush. So and hopefully it will last a little bit longer that way. So I'm really just anywhere that I can see kind of bright highlights, anywhere where I want to preserve the light. And then there's quite a big area in here. So this is where a brush is quite handy. Just paint a large area in there. Go there and a little bit here. Tiny bit there. And I think that will do. So that's that. And if anyone wants to use a bit of masking fluid, got some here, a couple of cheap brushes and a pen if you want to try that. So once that's on, I'll use the beer glass, because this was one I popped on Tuesday. And obviously we've got to wait for that to be perfectly dry. And that's the tedious thing about it, is it's a bit slow. You have to wait around things to dry. So that's got to be really dry, which that is. And then I should be able to just kind of flood most of that area. So where I am at the moment, this is all quite, I'll use the glass. It's all quite grey and I've got a bottle behind. So I will gradually build up inches. And if you wanted to use any of these bottles or any of these, one of the students brought these roses in earlier in the week. They've been quite nice. So I really just want a nice big grey wash. I can vary slightly. So using a mixture of raw umber and ultramarine. Grey. And you could use black, but if you use black, add other colours with it so that you're not just using a pure black colour. Make it more interesting. Okay. Right, let's use that. So I've got a fair bit mixed. To start with, it's actually very light, so I'm just going to put a very light wash on first. I might do that one, but I'm actually going to go with a bit bigger brush. I tend to find the flatter brush is a bit easier, so let's use this one. Put some water there. Let's use some of that. That should be okay. So most of that is very light. So I can kind of wash over the whole lot. And you can just hopefully just about see where I've reserved the line. And while that's still wet, I just want to put some slightly stronger shadows in. So I'll go for a slightly stronger tone. Thinking about that, I probably shouldn't have done it that way. Because I need a sharp edge here, and that's just going to bleed. So I'll have another go here. Let's do this one. I actually sort of want the same tone as the background and the within the glass. So this one, try and just keep the same tone. And if I've got enough of it mixed, once that's dry, I should be able to do the same wash again on the outside. Just go here and get stronger mix on the sides. Some shadows here. And here, slightly soften it out here. Shadow in here. And then, because there's a bottle behind that, it's quite dark. See part of the bottle through there as well. What I'm seeing, a little bit of a dark shadow there. I think that's probably as much as I'd want to do at this moment. That's a bit too much, I'll lift a little bit there. So let that dry and then develop some more washes. So if anybody has plenty of anything like that, there's various bits and bobs you can use here. I think these roses are quite nice. I actually found that because they're almost like going over, they're slightly easier to draw. So that was something I found with, particularly with that one. That one I didn't really observe quite so carefully, but these were quite interesting shapes and quite good ones to draw. Definitely easier than if it's really compact. The other thing that I thought I'd mention is if you're drawing symmetrical. Do another one maybe just on the side here. Anything like a symmetrical object like a bottle, just find it easier to start with the middle, perhaps a little cross at the top. So that would be maybe the front at the back, and the sides, just sort of almost like plan it out with a little cross, and then try and get those tighter radiuses in first, and then the broader. So it's a nice way of keeping the ellipses symmetrical. And then just kind of work your way down. Just do this very quickly, but if that was, say, the side of the bottle, it's important to make sure that the bottom is a lot kind of rounder. You know, that from here to here will be, you know, quite a lot. Well, so say from here to here will be, you could perhaps fit that distance in twice the width, whereas here it might be just, you know, one and a bit. So because we're looking down on it, that bit's going to appear a lot rounder than this bit. Okay. So I think that's all I've got to start with. Right. Okay. Let's crack on. Hi, Mary.